News at 8, the South African non-profit civil society sector plays a significant role in helping the South African government to fulfill its constitutional mandate and improve its image abroad. Gift of the Givers is one of those organizations that has been influential and active in many disaster-stricken areas locally and abroad. A book on its founder, Dr. Imtiaz Sooliman, titled Gift of the Givers, A Mercy for All, is on the shelves. Its author, Shafiq Morton, joins us from our Cape Town studios to discuss the subject of his book. Thanks for joining us, Shafiq. How would you respond if you were asked a question like, who is Dr. Imtiaz Sooliman?
Good evening, Tambili. First of all, yes, in fact, to describe Dr. Sooliman, I would actually use the word commitment in uppercase. He's a very committed human being, very compassionate, very sincere, and also honest in everything that he does and everything that he executes, from the ideas and all the various problems that he has to deal with. So I think commitment is the key word, plus compassion.
Now, what drove you to write the book?
In fact, what drove me to write the book was, in fact, Dr. Sooliman himself. He had been resisting the idea of a book about his organization for some time, when a publisher from the company that did the book, Bookstorm, Louise Grantham, persuaded him that now the time was right to write a book about the organization, because it had already done 41 countries, given 1 billion rands worth of South African money to people in various parts of the world, including Africa and South Africa. The time was now right to write the book. So I got a phone call, and Dr. Sooliman said, okay, Shafiq, I want you to write the book. And that's how easy it was in the beginning.
Now, there must be a defining moment that must have ignited the passion and love to help others in Dr. Sooliman, and gave birth to Gift of the Givers as we know it today. Does this come through in the book?
It does. In fact, there are two key incidences which motivated Dr. Sooliman to become the person who he is today. The first one was in 1990 in northern Mozambique. After a very severe famine and drought, he remembers very vividly looking into a dried riverbank and seeing young children digging into the dry riverbank and basically drinking mud, because there was nothing else to drink, there was nothing else to get water with. So straight after that, he did his first mission with an organization called the Islamic Medical Association. Fast forward to 1992, Dr. Sooliman finds himself in Istanbul, Turkey, on a Thursday evening, and is introduced to a Sufi sheikh. Now, a Sufi in the Islamic world is the direct opposite of ISIS. Very compassionate people, very loving people, very tolerant people. Now, this sheikh was a very wise old man, and he looked at Dr. Sooliman on this Thursday evening in a crowd of people, and he said to him, I'm not telling you, I'm ordering you to form this organization called Gift of the Givers. You will serve humanity for the rest of your life. You will serve humanity unconditionally, irrespective of race, creed, or color, anywhere in the world, at any time. The Sheikh added that you will have to treat every single person you serve with dignity, and if you get a kick on your behind, you must regard that as a good thing. And the amazing thing about this incident is Dr. Sooliman says the Sheikh couldn't talk English and he couldn't talk Turkish, and yet he understood perfectly what this man was actually saying to him. And that was how Gift of the Givers was born, 1992, in fact, on a Thursday evening.
Now, if one looks at his life, it's really about fulfilling civic duties and responsibilities. What do you think should be done to bolster and stimulate the spirit, particularly here at home?
I think we have to be more generous. It's a cliche, but I think we have to realize what Ubuntu really means. It means that we are who we are through others. We have to be compassionate, and we have to be caring. We have to be less selfish about ourselves. And the amazing thing is that as a human being, when you start giving, people start giving back. It's a two-way process. And I think if South Africans were just to remember this very simple homily, it could make a huge difference to civil society. Nobody's going to do anything unless we do it ourselves. I mean, no government in the world can solve everybody's problems. I mean, that just isn't going to happen. So the people who are going to solve our problems are ourselves. the best way to look at it is take a small seed from a gum tree which grows to a huge height in South Africa. That gum tree was once a small seed. So you have an idea, you develop your idea, and eventually it does grow. But the most important thing is you must nurture that idea, and you must not give up. You must be persistent. And of course, if you're compassionate and you're caring and you are focused, things do happen. Nothing happens overnight, but they do eventually happen, and then big things occur.
Now, Shafiq, can you just briefly tell us what you expect anyone reading this book to walk away with?
What they're going to walk away with is a story, a very proud South African story. This is a South African organization that has created a massive footprint, not only in our African continent, but worldwide. I mean, to date, Gift to the Givers has delivered over 1 billion rands worth of South African money in aid to something like 42 different countries over a period of about 20 years. There's also a beautiful story about what's happened in South Africa, the feeding of the miners at Marikana, the development of 2 townships in Khayelitsha and in Alexandria, the Adelaide Tambo Special School, just so many projects coming from one single organization.
We'll have to leave it there, Shafiq. Thank you very much for your time.